Hi there. So looking at our astrology for this week, we have a couple themes that we're going to focus on. The aspects circle around Uranus, so we definitely have a Uranian theme going on this week. This is the first week that we will have Neptune retrograde. We have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, and this is the last week that we have Venus and Mars moving through the sign of Leo together before Mars moves on to the sign of Virgo. We've talked a lot lately within our live sessions on Tuesdays and within our weekly videos here about the energy between Venus and Mars. So you can go back and look at that. This is the last week that you will have that energy playing out. So those are the things to kind of keep in mind just moving through this whole entire week. We start off right away Sunday, July 2nd with the moon moving into the sign of Capricorn where we will have the full moon this week. And we start off with a square between Uranus in the sign of Taurus and Venus in the sign of Leo. When I think of Uranus and Venus coming together, I think of innovative and instantaneous beauty and desires, bringing forward our will to express and that which we desire to obtain or express. So it's the desire to do so and it's the will to do so coming together, kind of bringing almost like a little bit of that courage that you might be lacking with the sign that you need to do the Venusian things that you want to do. So Uranus is, it's this electrifying and radically changing energies. It's quick, sudden changes, quick, sudden movements. This is where you get the idea of accidents or slip-ups or mishaps because things kind of catch you off guard. But sometimes you need that radical change and kind of like just make a move without necessarily thinking about it, right? You have to, there's balance there, but sometimes you need that like electrifying and just overcoming energy that just overcomes your normal circumstance and your normal will and just brings forward whatever it's going to bring forward. Uranus has been sitting in the sign of Taurus since 2019, and that's Venus's sign. So Venus has already been impacting Uranus just by being in the sign of Taurus. This electrifying energy sitting in the fixed earthly sign of Taurus in Venus's home, coming into a square with Venus, it represents love, beauty, harmony, desire, all of that which is favorable or desire, all of these wonderful, enjoyable things within our life. Those are the Venusian things within your life. And Venus is sitting in Leo, also a fixed sign. So this is very solid and solidifying, very grounding, very much physical with the sign of Taurus. This aspect feels very much like standing firm in your convictions and your creations. Leo is a passionate fire sign and Taurus is firm within its stability. So you end up with this firm and stable expression here with this square. So this is an aspect that has the potential to make you take action. So it's square. It's a scratchy aspect. It makes you work and put forth effort. But if you put forth the effort, then the benefit is wonderful and great at the end. So this is important as well because we're going to see this aspect 3 times. We've talked about Venus getting ready to go retrograde in July in the sign of Leo. So that means that Venus is going to retrace its steps through the sign of Leo 3 different times through forward and retrograde motion. So we're hitting this aspect this week. Venus is going to retrograde and trace its steps back through the early degrees of Leo, and then it's going to station once more for direct motion, and it's going to move forward and retrace the steps that it has already traced through the sign of Leo. So we're hitting this aspect on July 2nd, and then through retrograde motion, we're going to hit this aspect August 9th, and then once Venus stations and goes retrograde again, goes direct again, we're going to hit this aspect once more September 29th when Venus comes back to this position of 21 degrees Leo. So really looking at where you have 21 degrees around your chart, especially within fixed signs, fire signs, or earth signs, see how that's interacting and see how it's playing out for you, and you're going to see those themes within the next few months. Sometimes when we see aspects that hit multiple times like this, sometimes that first one can really kind of throw you off balance a little bit. So I would say that this may be possibly the most surprising time that the aspect comes through. And then once it comes through in the retrograde, you have this like revisiting process. And then once it comes through direct the last time in the end of September, then you're really firm in your firm within your thoughts and your motivation, and you really can kind of like, it doesn't catch you off guard so much. You can work with it and kind of harness it a little bit better to work towards your path. Monday, July 3rd, we have the full moon in the sign of Capricorn, 7:37 a.m. Eastern time. Again, translate to your own time zone if you are not in the Eastern time zone like I am. So this full moon, you always have a polarity within full moon, right? Because the moon and the sun are in opposition. You have this polarity between earth and water here within this full moon. You have the firmness and stability of earth, and then you have the malleable and the movable aspect of water, emotional aspect as well, where earth is a little bit more rational. So you have the rational mind and the emotional mind. You have what we hold, what we feel, and then what we reach for, what we wish to achieve. You have our comforts and our roots in the sign of Cancer versus like the ideals and what we, this ideal of what we're reaching for, and ideals and what we think, what we aspire to have. So this week we're activating the houses where Cancer and Capricorn are within your own chart. So take a look at that. The elements of Venus and Uranus interaction are definitely within this full moon. So it's really amplifying that square aspect that we have coming through on Monday. Really, you're going to have that energy all of this week. Within the full moon, we also have that connection of Venus and Mars before they separate, this unity of masculine and feminine, within this passionate fire sign within the sign of Leo. So very much bringing forward this like divine masculine feminine authenticity and marrying the two together in somehow, in some way, wherever Leo is in the sign in your chart. Looking at this full moon, really the only element that lacks is air, because we have the the square between earth and fire within Uranus and Venus. We have water and earth, very much grounding, very solidifying in this full moon. But anyways, you have the opposition with the full moon between water and earth. So you have water and earth, water and fire. Really, the only element that is lacking is air. So there's always positive and negative signs to every angle and every aspect here, right? So, somewhere that downfall could be perhaps not being flexible enough and not movable enough, not considering all sides and having that openness of air. But it also at the same time is, the positive is that it's very grounded and, maybe a little less likely to get caught up in your thoughts. That kind of helps Uranus a little bit. The grounding, hopefully that kind of keeps you even keel, but of course that is always up to us too. Tuesday, July 4th, the moon is going to move into the sign of Aquarius, but before that, it's going to conjoin Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. That's at 12:45 p.m. Eastern time. So this is one of those moon moments. Moment of intensity. Moon and Pluto is a moment of the month for intense manifestation and transformation. So being that we have this, right after the full moon and after this intense square between Uranus and Venus, the energy is really amped up this week. There's a lot of energy for you to use and utilize this week and play into. Wednesday, July 5th, the moon will be moving through Aquarius, touching any planets you have there. Thursday, July 6th, the moon is going to, in the sign of Aquarius, is going to oppose Venus and Mars in the sign of Leo. So it's going to oppose Venus at 3:36 a.m. Eastern time, and it's going to oppose Mars at 9:41 a.m. Eastern time. So, fiery thoughts and emotion. This could be tense. This could be perhaps like a moment of you versus them within the sign of Aquarius and Leo. It can be about passion It can be about passion versus intellect. It can be about the rational and the emotional. So there just might be a little intensity to kind of remember. If you need a moon moment to use that intensity and to use that that fiery passion and to build something, that is a great time to do so. After that opposition is complete, the moon will move into the sign of Pisces about 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Again, translate to your own time. While this is all happening, we have our other Uranian aspects. So then we have Uranus in the sign of Taurus sextiling Mercury in the sign of Cancer. This is coming off of Mercury's Cazimi moment last week in the sign of Cancer with the sun. Mercury is moving really, really fast, and it's it's reached this turning point and reached a new phase. Mercury is acting very, very fast and very quickly right now. So bringing that quick, swift, electrifying energy within, in unifying it with Mercury, with our mind, our thoughts, and our perceptions. Ingenuity, quick, swift moving mind. It makes me wonder about intuitive prompts and little electrifying, quick little messages. So there might be almost so quick that you miss them, or it kind of catches you off guard. So pay attention to those and be open to that. When that swift, quick moving, electrifying, revolting energy of Uranus comes into contact with our mind, with our mentality, and our ability to put things together, you might have breakthroughs. You might have kind of like aha moments where things just kind of all of a sudden make sense, or don't too. You could have like moments, quick spiraling moments of stress and anxiety too. So pay attention that you try to stay in the middle. So looking at these Uranus aspects that we have this week, maybe if the aspect with Venus earlier on the week kind of starts with desire and want and needs and what we want to manifest, and then it comes into contact with Mercury in a favorable aspect, maybe it moves into flows like into energy of being able to articulate that through mercurial means. So first we have the desire, the want, that burning, fiery Venusian passion, and then Mercury comes along and we have those mercurial tools to be able to put things together and piece together the puzzle to play it out how we want it to play out. So then we have this idea of being able to communicate our ideas, being able to obtain and utilize the tools that we need for our ideas and to put them into motion. Mercury really is that planet that can bring things together, and with it moving so quickly right now, right after its conzimi, it can put things together and move past quickly. So you have this very quick, swift idea this week too with Uranus and Mercury. Friday, July 7th, we have a Pisces moon all day at 12:47 a.m. Eastern time. The moon is going to conjoin Saturn in the sign of Pisces. So this is a little bit of a slowdown of the energy perhaps, or a reflective time within the energy of the week. Comes into contact with Saturn in the sign of Pisces, where it's very stoic, a little bit melancholic, and very much pensive and reflective. Moment to reflect or connect. It's like I said, it's a switch away from that fiery opposition and that fiery energy that we have. That is not to say that the fire and the passion are gone, but this is just kind of, we've had all week to move quickly and do all the work. So then here's the time to slow down, reflect, and see and reflect on how it's all played out. Saturday, July 8th, the moon is going to conjoin Neptune at 11:21 a.m. Eastern time before it moves into the sign of Aries at 3:20 p.m. So there's another moment to connect there with the sign of Neptune, retrograde Neptune. So there's our astrology for the week. This week, our meditation is not going to be on Tuesday. It's going to be on Wednesday. We're not going to do it Tuesday due to the United States holiday, Independence Day. It's going to be on Wednesday. So I will see you at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday. YouTube and Facebook, that's where you can find our live session, and I am excited to see you there.